Hello guys and girls, and welcome to another Sunday afternoon chat on a warm, beautiful Sunday afternoon. We've got some cloud cover in here and we got some wind beginning to pick up. The wind is starting to blow pretty good right now. It was absolutely dead calm at daylight this morning. Absolutely dead calm. Just, boy, I wanted to be out on that water so bad. I could taste it. I could just feel that thump, boom, catch a fish. Man, it was fantastic. But it's Sunday, and of course we went to church this morning at Midway Hills Baptist Church. Great sermon by our preacher, Chopper McCartney. Just did a wonderful job as he normally does, and it's just absolutely fantastic to go worship and praise God on a Sunday. You know, a lot of people say, I don't have to go to church. I can worship God out in the woods and on the lake and stuff like that. And certainly you can. You should be worshiping God no matter where you are, everywhere you are, 7 days a week. But God tells us to not forsake the assembling of ourselves together. And I take that as a redneck way of saying go to church. And so I do try to go to church. And I need that. I need that preaching. I need those preachers to stomp on my toes every now and then, because I get into some bad habits, getting into some things that I do that I know God doesn't approve of, and I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. I want to put a smile on God's heart every day. I think if I put a smile on God's heart, He's going to bless me and bless me and bless me. And even if He doesn't, I still want to put a smile on His heart, because what He's done to make sure that I'll spend eternity in heaven with Him. It's just absolutely amazing. But Sunday afternoon chat, we've got one appearance coming up here pretty soon. It's just right around the corner. Southern Hills Men's Night at Southern Hills Baptist Church in Oklahoma City. That will be on a Monday night, and that is November 11th, I believe. November 11th. Monday night, November 11th, about 6 o'clock. That event is a men's night. It's going to have a great dinner. We'll have a lot of door prizes. Tickets are only $15, $5 for kids. So be sure and be that Southern Hills Baptist Church in Oklahoma City, in South Oklahoma City, Monday night, November 11th, 6 p.m. That's 6 p.m. is when that'll start. Be speaking there. It's going to be a great event. You don't want to miss that. Be sure and bring a friend with you. Bring a friend. Buy somebody's dinner for $15. That's a pretty good deal. You might win a great door prize while you're there. It's been a good week here at the Eagle. I did get to fish a couple days this week, and really I caught way more fish off the dock than I caught anywhere else, but a lot of them were a little bitty tiny crappie. I caught a couple of crappie that weigh about 1.5 pounds, 1.75 pounds, but that's all. And I caught some bluegills, some small bass, mostly just down there throwing a little crappie magic jig with a little Lucky Strike swimming minnow on it, and a little lucky bug, you know, those little baits like that. Just trying to catch some crappie, have some fun. I have to lock Benelli up anymore if I want to fish on the dock, because she jumps in trying to catch the fish. When I throw it back, she jumps in trying to retrieve it for me. So that's not good. But we had a great week here at the ranch. We did not go out of the ranch all week long. When I come back through that gate last Sunday afternoon, I went back through it this morning. It's the first time I've been out through it, so definitely not putting too many miles on Chris's new car, which is good. Put about 40 or 50 miles on there every Sunday afternoon, every Sunday morning going to church, and that's been about it. We are going to go to Oklahoma City. We got another appearance coming up there at EE Systems on November 5. I'll try to get a little bit more information on that and the address. That's on a Sunday is when we'll be up there, on a Sunday afternoon, and we'll be there pretty much all Sunday afternoon. It's a spa that where they're using the N8 State water and the N8 State patches that we wear in our shoes, and I have on my phone and such, and they use those there. And so we'll be there at that day on November 5. That's actually the Sunday before the following Monday week, November 11th, when we'll be there at Southern Hills Baptist Church. So we'll put a few more miles on Chris's car on that. We're getting closer and closer to the first of the month, which means that we'll be sending out the Jimmy Houston Outdoors newsletter. The newsletter is, I think, the best newsletter in the outdoor business. It's got a lot of stuff in there. It's really, really helpful to you. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to jimmyhouston.com. There's a place in there where you can sign up for the newsletter. We'll send you a newsletter on the first of every single month. And the newsletter's got a little bit of stuff in there about all of our sponsors, but the main thing is it's got great articles in there that will help you in the outdoors. It's got great coupons and money saving deals in there. It'll save you some money with some of the products from some of our sponsors like Shell Rotella and O'Reilly Auto Parts and Bass Pro Shop, Mercury Motors, on and on and on. But there's all kinds of good stuff in there that will help you. Recipes, there's just all kinds of stuff. The Jimmy Houston Outdoors newsletter, absolutely free. Go on there to jimmyhouston.com, click on where they tell you to give us. We don't have to have your address, don't have to have anything with your email address. We don't sell those emails to anybody or give them to anybody. So with the emails, we won't share those with anybody. Just tell you that right now. We send that newsletter out on the very first day of every single month. So you get it up by email. You can look at it. You can save it. You can save in there some coupons or whatever you want to save some money on some of your purchases. Or you can delete it, whatever you want to do, but we'll send you that. You might notice, just looking behind me, I picked me a kind of a nice little spot here down below the house. We live here in the mountains, so we got hills and stuff all around, mountains all around. The mountain across from the lake on the other side is beginning to change color. I think the colors changed while we were at church today. I think while we was at church, God got out here with a paintbrush and started painting, because as I look across on that mountain over there, and we'll be showing you that probably a little bit every day as the day goes on, so you can see how he changes it day by day by day. You can see the trees behind me. Some of them are beginning to change colors. It looks like it's going to be spectacular here in southern Oklahoma this year. We've had such a warm fall. Yesterday it got up to 90 degrees, 1 degree away from a record. Today is in the high 80s, but it's really nice. It's beautiful out here. It's not hot at all, even though it's in the high 80s, which I think 90 or 91 is the record for this date. By the way, I heard them talk about the record in Oklahoma City. It was 90 yesterday, and I think the record was 91. That record was set back in like 1917 or something. Something like that, way back when that record was set. Way back. Now, the record for today was set only last year. So, but before you all think about all these real hot weather in October, toward the end of October, global warming, can I tell you, the global warming deal is all for a bunch of politicians, friends making money. They're just trying to scare you about that. God is in control of the weather. God is in control of the climate. I remember back when I was a kid, and I think I mentioned it before, we used to have drills in school. And we used to dive under our desk in school as little kids in case we had an atomic bomb fall on the United States. Now, obviously, that wouldn't save us a bit, but they were just trying to scare us. The politicians back then were trying to scare us just like the politicians try to scare us today. Global warming is not real. It's not real. And when you look at this, you break this record, you break the record, and you look back, and you got within a degree or two of a record, and that record was like 100 years ago. So it's all about money. It's all about money. It has nothing to do with anything else other than money and trying to scare people into getting votes. Vote for me. I'll save you from global warming. The man upstairs is the only one that will save you from global warming. Trees are turning. We got rain coming this week. We've got cloud cover just rolled in here. We had a little bit of cloud cover last night. Rolled in here to southern Oklahoma today because of that hurricane or typhoon or what they call it that's hit into Mexico down there. It was a full Category 4, Category 5 hurricane. It's, of course, inland now and dumping a lot of rain on Mexico down there, and I'm sure they need it. They probably are just praising God out there for it. I know I've been praying a lot for rain. I stopped and talked to my neighbor on the way home from church today, and he was out moving some goats, and he would tell me, I hope you're praying hard, Jimmy. And I said, I've been praying every day since I moved down here for that rain. But we are right south of us here in Ardmore. They're supposed to get 3.36 inches. Just north of us here in Pauls Valley, they're supposed to get 4.36. So if you figure that, we should get somewhere between that. But we got these mountains right here. Pauls Valley's not in the mountains. Ardmore's not in the mountains. And so the mountains make a difference right here. These mountains make a big difference. I love these mountains. I wouldn't trade them for any flat land in the world, but they do make a difference when the rains come. The rains will split and go around and stuff, and we won't quite get the rain that they get sometime a little bit north of us, a little bit south of us, a little bit east, or a little bit west of us. But we got a good rain coming. We got a full pallet of Okmulgee River Buckmaker food plot seed in. We got seeds in about I don't know, I guess we planted 75 or 80 acres of food plots. So we got a lot of food plots drilled this week. We shot a little film showing you how we do that, which we will we'll put up here sometime in the next few days or next week or so. So we're hoping we'll get that rain on that, and we'll get those food plots coming up, and that'll be really a real good situation. Remind me at the end of this deal here, don't let me forget, I want to talk to you a little bit about a song that I heard on the radio, and listen to Christian music on the radio, which I listen to Christian music all the time. But a song I heard that just put some thoughts in my mind. Remind me to talk to you about that song. But this week we're going to get to do a little fishing. I got a couple of my buddies coming in from Louisiana, Ross and Steve Cagle. They're brothers, and they're great friends of mine. Been friends for, oh Lord of mercy, many years. But they're the ones that bring the crawfish up. They're the ones that cook the crawfish when we have the big crawfish boil, or boil the crawfish, I guess you would say. They got me a crawfish a boiler that we have up here, so we use our own crawfish boiler to do that. We do that to Memorial Day weekend. and we also do a lot of fishing in and have a lot of fun. So they're coming up here on Thursday and Friday this week, and they're not coming to cook crawfish, unfortunately, but they're coming to help me install a cool box. We're going to put a cool box in a cooler that we have up there, a deer cooler that we've had down here, and it's got a great big 220 compressor up on the top of it, but it's got an old unit in there, and the unit leaks Freon, and every year when we go to turn that thing on, we have to spend several $100s for Freon, and they suggested that we just put a cool box in there. So we're going to install that cool box, and we've got this stuff bought. It didn't cost much money at all, and we're going to have to use 220. We'll be able to use 110, and we're going to install that cool box. And I'll shoot some video on it and show you how you do that in case some of y'all might want to build you a cooler, an outside cooler, and install that cool box. They've got one at their deer camp in Louisiana. They said it runs just really, really good, so they're going to help me do that, show me how to do that, and we'll get that cool box installed. So that that ought to be a fun thing this coming week. But this next week, that's pretty much what I'll be doing. That's the main thing that's on the agenda for this next week. I'll be here trying to do a little fishing, taking care of the deer, and watch what's going on, watching these beautiful trees change colors, and watching God paint all of these trees and paint these mountains the way He does. It's just absolutely amazing. So that's going to be a cool deal. Don't forget Southern Hills Baptist Church, Southern Hills Baptist in Oklahoma City. Monday night, November 11th, and also we'll be at EE Systems up there, and I'll get the name of that place on November 5. That's on a Sunday afternoon. We'll be there, probably get there around noon or so, and be there the rest of the afternoon. I did want to mention at the end of this video, the fishing was tough this week, by the way. We fished, and the thermocline moved down to 20 feet, which spread the fish out a lot. The wind was from the north one day, from the east one day. You know my rhyme on that. Those were 2 bad days. We fished anyway. We caught some fish, but boy, these were probably the 2 hardest days of the entire year. I also fished a little bit Wednesday. I had a couple of friends of mine come in here Wednesday, and we fished a little bit. Stan Neal came in from Ranch Hand and from Kurt Trailer Hitches, and put a Kurt link that linked onto that's on my trailer tires, on my Ranger trailer, where it'll tell the temperature of the trailer tires and the air pressure of those trailer tires all the time. It hooks up to an app that I got on my phone, and it will warn me anytime that those tires get low or the temperature gets high or low in those tires on my trailer back there. So I have a flat on my Ranger Trail trailer. I can stop before I run a tire that catches the whole boat on fire, something like that. Cody Christian was also here this week. What did I say? Cody Christian Corley. I just turned his name upside down and backwards. Christian Corley also came this week and helped me with getting my Ranger boat rigged and my tracker boat rigged to be able to shoot some GoPro videos. I want to start trying to go out here on the lake a little bit, maybe just for an hour or two, and fish and let y'all go fishing with me. And there'll be shows that won't end up on ESPN or the Pursuit Channel or Heartland Network or WFN or any of that. It'll just be stuff that's just between me and y'all out there. We'll fish for an hour or two, maybe if we're lucky, and hopefully catch a fish or two. If we don't, we probably won't show you that. But if we don't, we'll tell you why we didn't catch them. We'll tell you how we caught them, what we caught them on, time of the year, the day, the whole 9 yards. So it's something that might help you in fishing. And just be like you jumping in the back of the boat and going fishing with me, except I'm going to catch them. You're not. You're just going to... But I wish you were in the back of the boat fishing with me, because I promise you we would have a good time. So anyway, Christian came down and helped me with that. He owns YOLO Tech. He started YOLO Tech about, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 years ago, it seems like, and I started using his products right off the bat because he had some really neat stuff that helped us in tournaments be able to document the catches out there for the tournament officials and show them that we were doing everything according to the rules and all of that. It was really a neat deal. Pretty much all the top level tournaments are videoed all the time. YOLO Tech's motto, as a matter of fact, is always be recording. And that's exactly what you can do. They got set your GoPro cameras back. They'll only run about 2 or 3 hours, but it's got a juice bank that you put on the bottom of it. They let that run for 8 or 10 hours, so you can film all day long. And he's got other ways. You got a pole you can put in your navigation lights back there, and have your camera back there. I've got a camera stuck on my windshield of my Ranger boat and my tracker boat. So I'll be able to have that there. I've got a new mount that I've the very first one that they've ever got, that they've ever had made. Very first mount that goes on my on my locator, my Garmin fish finder that I have in the front of the boat. It fits on there, and it's got several angles that you can put it on where I can have it just looking right up at me. And we'll put the GoPro on there. We'll play with that and have some fun. Y'all be able to see some of that coming up here pretty soon, we hope. The weather's supposed to be really deteriorating fast starting tomorrow or the next day. And we got rain forecast, a possibility of rain, like 100% for 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then 7% in there for like 6 or 7 or 8 days. So hopefully we'll get 3, 4, 5, 6 inches out of this. This would be fantastic. This is exactly what we've been needing, a hurricane come up from Mexico and catch a little bit of Oklahoma. This is going to catch quite a bit of Oklahoma, I think. I think all over the state we're going to be blessed with blessed with a little bit of rain. But anyway, the Christian music I was listening to on the way home, and I just got to thinking about that song, and I don't even know if I paid any attention to who sang this song or what group sang this song. It might have been a church choir or something, or a church music leader or something that was doing this. I'm not really positive. But anyway, at the song, it had a line in there and talk about, if I never get my promise. You know, God has promised us lots of things. God promised, and God always does what he claims. He always does what he claims. We have a lot of promises, and God's promises have been fulfilled in my life over and over and over and over again. And just like, as an example, I tell you, when Chris had her stroke almost 31 months ago, and I'd driven 646 miles that day, and I was down in Alabama, and I turned my truck around, my Ram truck around in the middle of the interstate, and headed back to Oklahoma and drove 646 miles straight back, 22 and a half hours. I prayed all of those 646 miles, and I prayed and I asked God, just keep her alive, God. Keep her alive, keep her alive, keep her alive, just keep her alive. Whatever condition or whatever shape she may be in, that's fine. I'll take care of her forever. I'll take care of her forever. And God honored that, and he has kept her alive. And not only that, she's much, much better. She still can't walk. She still can't use her right hand, and she still doesn't talk plainly all the time. But she is so much better the prognosis of the doctor was that she would never leave that hospital alive. Never leave that hospital alive. And here we are, over 2.5 years later. And she stays here at the ranch with me all the time. By the way, he added a caveat. He said she'll never go back to that ranch. Well, Doc, she is back at that ranch. She is here with me all the time, living with me all the time. She's taking a nap. I put the groceries up that we got picked up in town today, and put her to bed, taking her nap right now as I'm out here wandering around in the woods, you know, and looking at the pretty trees and letting Benelli and Bella run around, and they're just been going crazy. They've just absolutely been going crazy. And they about knocked the tripod over 2 or 3 times running through here. But I was listening to a song, and it said, if I never get my promise this side of heaven, my faith will still be bright, or my faith will never fade. And all my hope is in God. All my hope is in Jesus. If I never get my promise this side of heaven, God has promised you and me lots. And God has promised Chris that she would walk. I believe without a doubt that she will walk right here on this earth. But I know without any shadow of a doubt she will walk in heaven. I know she'll be able to do whatever she needs to do with that right arm. I know her voice will be angelic, just like it was all of the 60 years almost that we've been married. And I know that promise will happen. But if I never get my promise this side of heaven, my faith will never fade. My hope will never dim of my Savior, Jesus Christ, of my God that I serve every day. And I think that as we struggle through whatever we may struggle through in life, ironically, our preacher today preached in Romans, and he preached about, it's not the first time he's done it, but he preached about one of my verses that I hang my hat on. 2 of them that I hang my hat on. One is, all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. We are called by God to be saved. We are called and chosen by God himself to be a son of God, a child of God, a daughter of God. And boy, I'm telling you, when you think about that, oh my gosh, is that really something? But all things work together. And it didn't say all things are good. It just says all things work together for the good of those who love God. So everything that happens, including a stroke, including car wrecks, including sicknesses, and getting fired from jobs and going broke, and on and on and on, those things are still working together for our good. And there has been a lot of good happen because of Chris's stroke. Is Chris's stroke good and what's happened to her? Absolutely not. It's the most horrible thing I could ever imagine, short of losing her. Short of losing her. That's just exactly how bad it is. But the great thing is I didn't lose her. The great thing is that God answered my prayer, and He kept her alive. And he's, 2.5 years, over 2.5 years now. And the other part is He's healing her little by little, day by day, day by day. And He's going to continue healing her as long as she lives on this earth right here. And one day she will walk right here on this earth, right here on this earth. But what I'm telling you is no matter what you're going through, no matter what situation you may be in right now, you may be in a victory. You may be on the mountaintop right now. You may be at the best place you've ever been in your life. I honestly wake up every morning thinking I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life, no matter what kind of problems I might have. We're fighting some problems right now, you know, in the television show. We've had a couple of really big sponsors of ours that's cut their sponsorship in half. And we need to find some more sponsors out there right now to make up for that. You know, we're going to have a hard time paying the bills for next year's television show. We're back on ESPN again next year. We're back on the Pursuit Channel. The Pursuit Channel, the largest outdoor network out there. We're back on the World Fishing Network, back on the Heartland Network, AT&T Sports Southwest. Everything is lined up good as far as the channels. We've got pretty much all the television shows shot. We're going to shoot, we got 3 or 4 more left to shoot, which we'll shoot, you know, between now and the end of the year. But we got pretty much all the shows shot. We're going to have a great series, year number 47 on national television, year number 47. So we've got some real challenges there just from a dollar and cent standpoint, just from having enough money to be able to pay the bills. But we're looking at some sponsors out there. You know, I'm contacting Home Depot this week. I spend a lot of money at Home Depot, and I think a lot of outdoorsmen out there do. But we're going to be contacting quite a few people this week and hoping that we can get some of them involved in Jimmy Houston Outdoors Television and our social media. You folks out there, friends in social media, are just amazing, you know, and we've become friends with so many of you out there. We've met so many of you out there all over the nation. And do you know that we have had over 15,000 new people join our social media this month, in the month of October, over 15,000. And the majority of those, about 7,000 on Facebook, about 4,000 on Instagram, about 3,000 on TikTok. TikTok's over 80,000. Really and truly, the only thing that is not growing at a pretty rapid pace right now, even though we do have 650,000 people on Facebook, it's still growing fast. About the only thing is YouTube. And I really believe, honestly, and I'm just being honest with y'all out there, I really believe that that YouTube just doesn't put us in front of very many people. I think that people like me, with the values that I have, the Christian values, and talking openly about my Savior, Jesus Christ, and one of our channels, Catch a Better Life, is simply a devotional, a Word of God. And I think that, and I'm not saying that they're trying to persecute us or anything like that. I'm just saying that I just don't think that they put people like me in front of a lot of people like they do some of the other people on YouTube. And obviously that if they put that in front of all the fishermen in the country, we'd have 4 or 5 million people on the YouTube channels out there, instead of, I think we're about 160 some odd thousand on all 3 of them added together: Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing, Jimmy and Chris Houston's Twin Eagle Ranch, and Catch a Better Life. I think totals a little bit over 160,000 people. But so the only way we can really grow on YouTube, honestly, pretty much, is y'all sharing with your friends out there and letting other people know about those channels that we've got and getting them involved on there. And if they never get real big, that's okay. That's okay, because I think God will put those channels to the right people, And all my faith, all my hopes in God, no matter what happens. But if I never get my promise, just kind of let those words sink in. Just words of a song. If I never get my promise this side of heaven, my faith will never fade. My faith will never fade. My hope will still be strong. And I probably didn't say those words exactly the way that song is, but if I never get my promise this side of the grave, if I never get my promise this side of the grave, or this side of heaven, I think the song says this side of the grave. Just think about that. Whatever situation you might be going in, God's aware of it. God's working on it. God is working things together for your good. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I sure do love you.